Was Mary Magdalene also an apostle? Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and we don't have any data that indicate Mary Magdalene was identified as an apostle within early Christianity. But what we can reconstruct of her role within early Christianity indicates that she was a significant leader for early Christians, so much so that there may have been attempts to try to obscure just how important she was, starting in the 2nd century CE and after. Elizabeth Schrader Pulitzer and Joan Taylor and other scholars have done some great work identifying ways that Mary Magdalene's tradition has been downplayed. For instance, the name Magdalene has long been understood to refer to where she came from, Mary of Magdala. In fact, there is a city on the northwestern shores of the Sea of Galilee that is identified as Magdala. But it's unlikely that that's where the name came from, and it's unlikely that that city was ever known as Magdala. According to Schrader Pulitzer and Taylor, Magdala probably just means toweress or magnified one. In other words, it's probably just a title that was given to Mary very early in the history of Christianity in recognition of just how important she was to the early Christian movement. Schrader Pulitzer has also identified places in the 4th Gospel, the Gospel of John, where Martha of Bethany may have been added to the manuscripts to obscure additional references to Mary as a means of downplaying her significance and her role. And we talked with Elizabeth on the Data Over Dogma podcast back in June of 2023 in our episode 12 about her work on Mary Magdalene. So if you'd like to see more, you can go track that down on YouTube, on Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So while we don't have any indication that Mary Magdalene was considered an apostle, she was one of the important early leaders of the Christian movement, so much so that she had later people trying to downplay her significance. And then in the year 591 CE, we have Pope Gregory the Great, who gives a homily on forgiveness and arbitrarily identifies Mary Magdalene with the woman who bathed Jesus' feet with her hair and her tears in the Gospel of Luke, and then insisted that the grave sins of which she was guilty must be sexual in nature, and therefore she must have been a sex worker. So there have been a lot of traditions that have developed within Christianity that have obscured and downplayed her legacy within the early history of Christianity. And the fit for this video has been Jim Lee's Wolverine.